I'm not here to ask you to feel sad for anyone. I'm certainly not mourning Brian Thompson's death. I'm not here to defend the practices of health insurance companies. I think they are full of flaws. I'm not here to tell you that Luigi is an evil person because he assassinated Brian Thompson, though a comprehensive moral character of Luigi is outside of the scope of this video. But what I am here to do is answer the question, is Luigi a hero, and what that says about the people who idealize him. Many people are saying he's a hero, and that no one should oppose him, and implying he had some strong positive influence. Some even sell merchandise celebrating it. I haven't seen many people express why in detail they think he's a hero outside of the CEO was bad, but even then there are a few more premises about morality you need to present before killing bad people becomes morally justified. So I've taken a guess at a few reasons why people might call him a hero, and I'll explain my problems with each. Because to be a hero you must be doing moral things, otherwise you'd be a villain by definition. The first reason people think the assassin is heroic is because they believe it materially improved society. This is a sort of trolley problem argument. By killing the CEO, you'll save all the people who his actions would have killed, so yes, murder is bad, but overall the total number of lives saved increases. The CEO's company denied insurance claims that resulted in preventable deaths, so surely killing him would lead to more claims being approved as he wouldn't be there to influence policy that leads to denials? In truth, it doesn't. For starters, this is oversimplified. Due to the nature of how insurance works, some number of claims will have to be denied. And the cost of healthcare isn't determined fully by an insurance company. It's a product of many sectors such as drug manufacturers, doctor salaries, administrative costs, medical equipment manufacturers, research costs, and more I haven't mentioned. All of these things combine together to create the American healthcare system and its cost. Corruption does very much exist in healthcare. A good example of that is insulin price gouging. But the cost of healthcare isn't only a result of greed, it's more nuanced than that. Also, I've never seen evidence of this mass amount of deaths that insurance companies are causing. Not to say it doesn't exist, but proof of this has been suspiciously absent from the discourse. But let's be charitable and say the CEO still made internal policy decisions that led to obviously presentable deaths. Would killing him then materially improve society? The answer is no, because the company's new CEO will take his place and perform the same role without changes. And here we have proof of that. Immediately after the assassination, Andrew Whitty became CEO and made a video statement and then released a memo, all but saying nothing would change. I have cut out 3 excerpts from the video that I think prove my point.
The mission of this company is truly to make sure that we help the system improve by helping the experience for individuals get better and better. There was nobody who did more to try and advance that mission than Brian Thompson. And we are going to make sure that we not only acknowledge and honour that legacy of Brian, but we'll continue it. I encourage you to tune out that critical noise that we're hearing right now.
And here is the written memo if you'd like to pause to read it. I've seen a few instances of people claiming that the assassin did something positive in other ways, but they are just wrong. 1. Got him shook. In this one instance, an article was posted about Atrium Health canceling medical debt for 11.5 thousand people with the caption, "Luigi got him shook." But if you look into the details, this actually happened in September, over 2 months before Luigi ever killed anyone. Anesthesia rollback. People cited a rollback of a policy that would have limited anesthesia periods as part of Luigi's positive effects. But according to this article, it says that the rollback was unrelated to Luigi's actions and actually was a result of the misinformation surrounding the policy. Additionally, this policy would not have increased cost for consumers. According to this article, it says Anthem's policy would not have increased cost for their enrollees. Rather, it would have reduced payments for some of the most overpaid physicians in America. So, ironically, Luigi's actions here made healthcare, in this one instance, slightly worse. 3. YouTube post. In this one YouTube post, Luigi is given credit for a policy that the Biden administration put in motion well before the assassination took place. 4. Spark a conversation. People said Luigi's assassin would spark a conversation or create some unified front against the wealthy. That just never happened. People rarely talk about the event anymore. Nothing came of it. And why should anyone have expected anything to happen? A number of the people who supported Luigi voted for Trump and hate Democrats. What possible solution was anyone going to propose that would appeal to these people? It was wishful thinking from the start. Conclude / the cost. To summarize, this assassination accomplished literally nothing material and prevented the deaths of exactly 0 people. And it's not morally neutral either. Were onlookers traumatized and now need therapy? How will the CEO's kids feel having lost their parent? Resources have to be expended to hold trial, to chase Luigi down, to hold him in prison. That's money taxpayers are using. Nothing was accomplished, and it did cost something to some people. That's not a moral action, and therefore it shouldn't be considered heroic.
How about another joke, Murray?
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
What do you get
I don't think so.
when you cross
I think
a
we're
mentally
done
ill
with your
loner
jokes.
with
That's
a
it.
society that abandons him and treats him like trash?
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get.
Call the police.
You get what you fucking deserve.
But many people, I think, would still see the actions as heroic even if no material change actually occurred. So this second view stems from an idea of punitive justice, eye for an eye, that Brian Thompson was an evil person and killed others through his policy, and so he deserved to die, or at the very least, no moral wrong occurred by killing him. Luigi's actions are then a symbol of standing up to the oppressors, and that's heroic in and of itself. He's a hero because he stood up, they might say.
It's not about money. It's about sending a message.
This person thinks it was the only way Brian Thompson would face any justice. I'm not sure that there is concrete proof that Brian Thompson is an evil person, but let's say for the sake of argument that he is. Would it then be justified to kill an evil person even if it didn't save anyone? I would say no for 2 reasons. The first is I don't think you can justify punitive justice from a secular perspective. How would you even decide who deserves to die? People are bound to disagree on what crimes deserve what punishment. There is no way to resolve these arguments without religion. And even if someone might have a strong emotional feeling regarding revenge, that doesn't make it justified. And the second is that even if you could invent some system in which people agree who is deserving of death, letting vigilantes be the one to decide this is bound to result in mistakes, and there are a number of examples already of vigilantes getting it wrong and hurting innocent people. For those reasons, I don't think Luigi's actions should be encouraged by viewing it as a healthy or heroic symbol of rebellion. Look to the civil rights movement of the 60s for healthy examples of rebellion. Rosa Parks is a strong example, I think, and those protests actually accomplished something. I find it ironic that many leftists think the death penalty is bad, but this is totally okay. It's wrong to kill a person convicted by a jury of their peers because no system is perfect and even juries can make mistakes, they argue. But it is totally okay for a vigilante to kill an individual on a whim, despite the fact that vigilantes have 0 due process or checks and balances to limit the mistakes they make. And when a violent criminal is in custody, it's too cruel and evil to kill them. No one deserves to die, they say. But when it's a CEO, then all of a sudden it's offensive to ask people to care about their well-being. Again, this was brought up during the BLM protests, how wrong it was for cops to kill criminals because they deserved a fair trial and you couldn't trust their judgment, even if they were bad people. What people don't discuss is just as important as what they do discuss, and what people aren't discussing is solutions. Not a single person calling the shooter a hero has offered any actionable or practical solutions to help people, and no, kill more CEOs is not a solution. They aren't even saying who got us here or who historically has improved healthcare the most. No mention of the people who have provided workable solutions or those who have tried to roll back healthcare. And yeah, you might not think the solutions will cure everyone's ills. I certainly don't, but at least it's a start. This is a no-brainer to mention if you are really interested in having an honest discussion about what should be done. And because I am interested in that, I'll explain what I was alluding to. This is not a comprehensive list, but it's enough to prove my point. Democrats winning elections are directly responsible for the healthcare benefits that we enjoyed prior to the 2024 election. It wasn't perfect, but it used to be worse, and Republicans have tried and succeeded in making things worse. Democrats have done too many positive things to list, things specific to healthcare no less, so I will present an abridged version of it. Obama's administration gave us the Affordable Care Act, which, among other things, 1. Expanded Medicaid coverage to up to 138% of the federal poverty line. 2. Required employers to pay penalties if they don't offer affordable coverage. 3. Created new health insurance exchange markets, so everything was all in one place to comparison shop. 4. Forced private insurance to cover pre-existing conditions. On the other hand, Republicans have repeatedly tried to repeal the ACA. Wikipedia has a chart that shows Republicans voted to repeal the ACA 25 times. And when directly trying to repeal the ACA through a vote didn't work, Trump's administration tried other ways to sabotage it. This was during Trump's first term. These included reduce outreach and opportunities for enrollment in the ACA's insurance exchanges, cut ACA subsidies to insurance companies offering coverage on the exchanges, construct off-ramps to cheaper, lower-quality insurance, promote waivers that would decrease ACA enrollments and undermine its regulatory structure, discourage legal aliens from enrolling in Medicaid, and if that wasn't enough, Trump's administration during its first term declined to ban pesticides linked to childhood brain damage. The Biden administration, among other things, gave us a price cap on insulin for seniors, free vaccines for seniors, price cap of $2,000 for all medications for people on Medicare, gave Medicare the ability to negotiate drug prices, approved the first over-the-counter birth control medication, signed an executive order directing federal agencies to prioritize women's health research. I'm getting my information about Democrats' accomplishments from these two articles. I highly recommend them. They give a more detailed and comprehensive overview than I have, with sources and in an easy-to-understand language. Compare that to Trump and Republicans who, in 2025, put tariffs on many countries that will increase the cost of healthcare as those countries supply the U.S. with medications and medical equipment, got more than 200 federal research grants for HIV. Trump's administration has cut funding for cancer research as well. Research always has the potential to reduce healthcare costs by improving treatment outcomes and finding more efficient methods of treatment, and Trump has ended that possibility. Trump also appointed RFK Jr., who has spread many anti-vaccine lies. And in case it's not obvious, less vaccination rates means more people who are sick and can get you sick, which means more time and money spent treating the illnesses associated with chronic conditions and less ability to work and earn money. Republicans passed a budget resolution that would require cutting $880 billion over 10 years in Medicaid. And then they passed a bill that would cause 11.8 million Americans to lose health coverage under Medicaid over the next decade. And again, I can't state enough, everything I listed, both the good and the bad, is only the tip of the iceberg. And I want to add that Republicans made healthcare worse after Luigi killed the CEO. Medicare was cut on July 4th, 2025. Luigi killed Brian on December 4th, 2024. For all the writings about how Luigi got him shook, how he scared the ruling class, Republicans, who are currently the ruling class and destroying healthcare, do not seem to be scared one bit. My point being, Luigi did nothing. He didn't scare anyone. He had no positive effect. In conclusion, the answer is clear. If you want to improve healthcare, you need to talk about how Democrats regularly improve it and Republicans roll it back, and that Democrats winning elections is an obvious and necessary step to improve healthcare. It's not possible to improve healthcare under a Republican administration. So why don't people who support Luigi promote these things? The massive irony here is that of the people who think Luigi is a hero, some of them are Trump voters. And leftists who think Luigi is a hero, many of them love to complain about Democrats every chance they get too, saying it's, quote, not good enough. Well, was Luigi good enough? He did nothing to improve healthcare, so why does he get to be a hero? And for that matter, if we want to assign hero status to individuals, Democrats are 100% more deserving of that label than Luigi for all they've done. Apparently, the American people are so angry at healthcare and want it to change, so where is that conversation about how we change it? Why are the leftists and conservatives who cheer on Luigi also spending their breath spitting on Democrats? What metric are any of these people using to decide who is a hero? What is up with that? What it reveals. It's not about improving healthcare, and I know that because of two facts. Luigi's actions did nothing to improve healthcare, and none of the people supporting Luigi are advocating for the Democrats who are necessary to improve healthcare. To then find out what it's really about, you have to ask, what does Luigi offer that Democrats don't? And the answer is emotional validation. Luigi represents a simple and thrilling story with heroes and villains. It's easy to live vicariously through him and feel like you are personally getting your revenge, and that's really cathartic for some people. Advocating for Democrats is a chore. It's complicated and boring. It requires research to understand the political landscape and who supports what, the history of how things change, thinking through your moral priorities to justify your support. It requires acknowledging that improvement is not simple and that progress can be slow and rolled back. For many people, that is too much emotional effort, and so they don't bother. I think this scene from Rick and Morty sums up this dichotomy I'm trying to articulate. For those who haven't watched the show, the context is that the super genius and egomaniac Rick Sanchez has turned himself into a pickle to avoid therapy with his dysfunctional family. He finally shows up to a therapy session at the start of the clip.
You are the master of your universe, and yet you are dripping with rat blood and feces, your enormous mind literally vegetating by your own hand. I have no doubt that you would be bored senseless by therapy, the same way I'm bored when I brush my teeth and wipe my ass. Because the thing about repairing, maintaining, and cleaning is, it's not an adventure. There's no way to do it so wrong you might die. It's just work. And the bottom line is, some people are okay going to work, and some people would rather die. Each of us gets to choose.
The thing about repairing, maintaining, and cleaning is that it's not an adventure. That is the main quote I think is applicable here. In the political world, the equivalent of this is researching candidates, thinking logically about important issues, voting and encouraging others to do the same. But because it's not exciting or adventurous, people neglect it, and they'd rather cheer on the thrilling assassin under the guise of wanting to fix things than to do the monotonous work required to actually fix things. It's a severely childish mentality. Imagine a kid who just wants to eat candy for dinner and hates vegetables. Luigi is candy, Democrats are vegetables. I think we should eat our vegetables. Put another way, people don't want solutions, they want catharsis. And I want to say this mentality of valuing spectacle over substance isn't unique to this event. It's pervasive in much of politics, and once you notice it, you'll start to see it everywhere. However, this recent event just put this fallacious mentality on display in a very large and clear way. So keep vigilant and call it out when you see it again. Frustration without temperament to guide it effectively is extremely dangerous, and is evidenced by the significant hypocrisies present in the people cheering on the shooter. They don't have the temperament. It's very easy to radicalize someone and then use their frustration to attack the wrong things. In this case, it wasn't that horrible of a target, but if this attitude remains unchecked, I don't want to see where it leads. Because it's very important to note that no one reasoned their way into why this attack was justifiable for the goals they claim to want. And, for what it's worth, it probably leads to fascism. According to this one article, fascism was fueled in part by people seeking thrilling adventure at the expense of everything. And the people who call Luigi a hero are also fueled by desire for adventure over disciplined life improvements. The article's titled, "Beware the Gleeful Leapers," and the quote is, "Thus, fascists were exhilarated by action, which is all the more appealing the more dangerous and, frankly, the crazy the action is." I don't think everyone who says that Luigi a hero is necessarily fascist, but fascism is made up of problematic human tendencies taken to the extreme. We should call out these tendencies before it becomes extreme. If the CEO was a dictator solely controlling the mass execution of people, it would be justifiable to kill them, but they aren't. They are one leader of a larger machine that is easily replaced, and their death isn't the simple solution people want it to be, and it's not free either. I think this thread from JJ McCullough ties up a lot of what I've been saying. He says, quote, "I'm sick of all these dumb takes on the CEO shooting. There was just an election in which voters did not care one iota about healthcare policy. So spare me your armchair intellectual analysis of how a single psychopathic murderer represents the vox populi or whatever. What the killing shows is that a lot of young people on the internet have no moral compass at all and will routinely make folk heroes out of murderers because they swim in a deranged populist subculture of performative edginess and psychosexual political extremist roleplay. TikTok brain rot children have made heroes out of the Unabomber, Osama bin Laden, and other psychos because they're dumb and ignorant. I'm sick of older people not calling out dumb ignorant children and instead intellectualizing their stupidity so they can pretend to be young." And I strongly agree. Good thing is that currently believing the CEO shooting was justified is not the majority of people. Let's keep it that way by calling out this cancerous idealization of extremism.